Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the scent of Baltimore, where our crab cakes and our gunpowder are always fresh. I'm your host, Baltimore Knows. In today's video, I'll be covering longevity. With longevity, I'm also going to be explaining the fragrance pyramid to give you a better understanding of how longevity works. So, with the pyramid, you have the top, middle, and base notes. There's also alcohol in our fragrances to help dilute the notes and spread them out so that when we spray our fragrances, we smell like a multi layered scent instead of one giant, powerful scent, like a singular smell, right? So, let's break down the fragrance pyramid and see why it matters when it comes to longevity. Okay, so the fragrance pyramid can be broken down like this. You have the opening notes or the top notes, the heart notes or the middle notes, and then the base. Each one of these has scent molecules that have a physical weight to them. And it's usually determined by certain properties like how concentrated the fragrance oil is for that particular note. So, with that being said, the top notes are the lightest notes, like the lightest molecules, and they evaporate the fastest from how fast they're moving and the volatility, right? Like they're light, so they move around a lot. So they usually last for about 15 minutes. So your top notes, I like to think of them as like Miles Morales when he just like stuck his hand out on the girl's shoulder and was just like, hey. Like that's literally what the top notes do. Like they're there to like greet you, right? And just say hey pretty much when you first spray whatever fragrance that you have. So with that being said, I'm gonna switch over and explain something else before we get into the heart and the base because you should know where I'm going with this since you just heard me explain the top notes and how the molecules in the top notes are light with their weight. So I'm gonna spit some science real quick. We can put on our lab coats. If you're watching from Baltimore City, you're probably going to put on a ski mask instead. But just put something on because we're about to do some science, right? So when we talk about longevity, we talk about pulse points, right? So you hear people say, spray it on your wrist, spray it on your neck, spray it behind your ears, right? Because there's a pulse, right? It's a pulse right here. You have the pulse there in your neck, and then in your wrist, and the molecules, the scent molecules, are working off of heat and basically vibration. So when you have a molecule that vibrates, it moves, it's going back and forth, it heats up. So when you have molecules that heat up, they evaporate, and that's what we smell in the air. So when it comes to your top notes, your middle notes, and your base notes, the longevity is based on the weight, right? Like how heavy or how light the molecule is will determine how fast it evaporates. So, like the pulse on your wrist, it's beating, it's beating, it's beating. So, it's shaking and moving around the molecules and it's releasing them into the air. It's evaporating into the air fairly quickly, right? So, let's go back to the rest of what I'm saying here. So the heart or the middle notes, they're heavier, right? They're heavier than the top notes, and they're slower. Like they're slower to evaporate because they move slower. They're heavier, so I mean it makes sense, right? And then finally you have your base. So your base is the most solid part of the fragrance, right? It's the heaviest with the molecular weight. Like I know I sound like some kind of Albert Einstein, some kind of genius, but this is literally how your fragrances work. So top notes are gonna last about 15 minutes. They're your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. They're greeting you to say hello. Your middle notes, those are the ones that are lasting somewhere between like 1 to 4 hours. And then your base notes are the ones that are lasting somewhere between, 5 to 6 hours plus. So finally, how do we make our fragrances last? Well, I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, now that we understand the actual science behind our fragrances and how scent molecules work, let's talk about how we actually get them to last longer. Now, this is my own personal method. Highly recommend. Obviously, I'm sharing it with you guys, so I'm gonna jump right into it. I have something that I use called courier oils. So, what are courier oils? Courier oils, they basically act as a base for all the fragrances, right? It locks the scent molecules in place. Um, so it slows their movement and it slows their evaporation rate. So this is really because courier oils themselves are non-volatile. They don't evaporate easy, and I like them because like they either have like no scent, or the scent that courier oils have is so like faint, it doesn't really interfere with whatever fragrance that I'm wearing. Um, it's not overpowering at all. So in the video you just saw with I showed all of the courier oils that I have, right? Um, a quick story. I had a coworker ask me, he said, "Hey, you glorious, tall, handsome American man. You smell so good. How do you get your fragrance to last so long? Like, here we are, it's the end of the day, the end of the shift." And he's like, "I can still smell you." He's like, "Did you reapply?" I said, "No, I didn't reapply." It's like, "Well, how are you doing it?" I'm like, "Well, for what I told you, use the courier oils, right?" He's like, "Well, I do." And I said, "Well, which one do you use?" He said he uses coconut oil. I said, "Well, here's the thing about courier oils. Try them all. You saw the cabinet, you saw how many different ones I have. Different courier oils work differently on everyone's skin. Like they all work differently. Find one that works the best for you." So the one that I found to be like the most effective is probably going to be like I have the olive oil, right? I have olive oil, but this is the one that I was like acting all silly with in the video. This one is yeah, it has argan, right? So I use argan. I have argan oil over there. That's the one I use. So I'm gonna show you exactly my routine. So I know that sounds like kind of weird for me to even say, but yeah, this is my routine. This is how I do it. I guess this is a cringe warning. Like when you see me actually apply the fragrance, you might cringe, right? But we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Let me show you how I do it, right? So this is for you, Mr. Coworker. First of all, I probably should like literally open this. This is a brand new bottle. So yes, it still has hey, I I I'll let you have this one. You can make fun of me for that one. But all right, here we go. So look, this is what I do. So just a little bit like on like I don't know if you can see that, but just enough for like the on your fingertips, right? And I just apply some drip right there. I apply right here on the left. And just like make sure you rub it in. Rub it in nice and good so you're not like all super shiny. Right here in the middle. Then on the right hand side, right? So it's basically my whole front, right? So the whole front, obviously on the back, I mentioned sillage, right? The trail. So doing it on the back helps with the trail. Helps with your sillage. It increases your sillage a whole lot. And one last thing that I do, I have this magnificent beard. Maybe I'll get rid of it if I get a promotion, but I'm gonna keep it right now. But I use still just a dab, and I just dab right here on the beard, rub it in. Another dab. It's so small you can't even really see it, but just a dab right there, right? Rub it in. And then here comes the cringe part. So this is just a body spray. It's not like a actual parfum. It's not a powerful fragrance. Just body spray, right? This is Artul lavender, right? So okay, here we go. Here's the cringe part. It's literally the number of sprays. And before I even spray this thing, I'm gonna say this right now. I spray my fragrances for me. I like the way my fragrance smells, so I spray my fragrances for myself. I don't spray it for anyone else. But in the same breath, speaking of breath, I do spray a lot. My objective is to incapacitate everyone in the room the moment I walk in. I was like, as soon as I walk in, if you don't start choking and gasping for air, then I haven't done my job. And you'll see why. Okay, here we go. So I do one on the left, I do one in the middle, I do one in the right, I do one in the back for the sillage, right? And then whatever shirt that I'm wearing, I'm gonna do one on the left and then one on the right. And that's it. So you say, oh my God, you spray 6 times? Yes, I do. Again, it's for me. Like, this is my scent bubble. This scent bubble will remain here for 10 hours. 10 hours. Like that is, I tried to grab like one of my fragrances that's like not even all that strong, and that's the one that he was asking me about. And I tried another one that I would just wear only at nighttime because it's not that strong. And I used olive oil for that one. Lasted all day. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. That's my my story time. This is me showing you guys literally how to increase your longevity, because there's so many videos out there where people they'll just like talk at you, but they won't show you. They're not brave enough to show smelly American face, and teach you guys how to actually do this stuff. So I hope I've helped at least one person, increase their longevity and also help them to incapacitate an entire room. So that is my objective. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you learned something. And like all the other kids say, like and subscribe. Bye.